We're going to have a look now at how we can use what we've already learnt about the number system and the written methods for adding and subtraction to have a go at solving some word problems. And word problems need to be taught just as systematically as any other process in maths. I'm going to model how to do it. I would start with having a system that I'm going to teach the children. So it would look something like this. I would teach them to read it twice. I'm going to model all this in a minute so that you can see how I do it. Then highlight the key information in the question and then write a number sentence or an equation, and they would have to choose the correct operation as they did that. And in this case, it's just going to be addition and subtraction. And then they're going to choose the most efficient method for calculations. Now, if I want them to practice the written method, then I should be giving them numbers that they shouldn't be doing mentally. But in this case, because we're training, I'm just showing you the methodology. And then I need to teach them to go back to answer the question, because the calculation is not necessarily the answer to the question. And that's the point when they would add the appropriate unit of measurement. So I have some questions here. Some of them are addition and some are subtraction, and they've been carefully written so that all the different language is being used. And this really is where children's understanding of the written word comes in, because they have to contextualise these questions and know what they mean. So if we look at number 1, it says, I'm going to read it twice. A ferry carries 25 cars to France. It returns with 42 cars. I need to be imagining that happening, or could even draw a picture if it helps the child. How many cars are carried all together? If we see that key word all together, it means that we're going to be pushing something together. So we're going to be adding. So that's a really big clue. We've got two numbers to deal with, 25 and 42. So I've highlighted those the key information, and I will have read it twice just to check I understood it and imagine what's going on. So I know that 25 cars went onto the boat, so I could represent that with my base 10 equipment. So I'm going to put my 25 on. So this represents the number of cars that went on the boat. And then another number of cars came back. So I have to add those because it wants to know how many cars are carried all together. So I'm going to put 42 cars on there. And the way I would represent that is, I'll show you on the board. But first of all, going back to my steps, I need to write a number sentence choosing the correct operation. So my number sentence in this case is going to be that it's 25 add 42 will give me the number that I am looking for. That is my number sentence. And now I'm going to represent it. So I've put my numbers on the board, and then I'm going to decide how am I going to calculate it. Now, most of us would be able to do that mentally, but if we're doing it in a written method, this is what I would do. Put my tens and units or my ones on the board, and then I had 20 and 5. Put your addition sign there, add 40 and 2, and then I'm going to do the calculation. So if I push those together, I get 7 ones, and if I push my tens together, I'm going to get 6 tens. So the answer to the calculation is 67. But then I need to go back, and it says, answer the question, adding the appropriate unit of measurement. So the question says, how many cars are carried all together? So the answer to the question is, the number was 67, it represents cars. So the answer is 67 cars. And if they want a sentence, you'd have to write it all out. But it's really important that you put the unit of measurement, which in this case is cars. So I'm going to choose another one. So let's choose number 3. Miss Mudd grew 84 flowers. She picked 49. How many flowers were left? I'm going to read that again. I'm going to highlight the key information that I've been given. And I need to understand what's happening. She grew 84. She picked 49. That means she took them away. And what I need to know is how many are left. So I understand that if I'm taking something away, that's going to be a subtraction calculation. So the number sentence that I'm writing is going to be 84 take away or subtract 49. I'm going to be left with the answer. That's how many I'm going to be left with. So on my board, I'm going to represent that with my 84, 20, 40, 60, 80 and 4 ones. And remember, when you're subtracting, you're removing something from this number. So I'm going to set it out as I've been practicing. So when I'm subtracting, I have to start with the higher number at this level. And so I'm going to ask myself the question, can I do 4 take away 9? Well, I cannot take 9 from here. So I'm going to have to use the skills that I've already practiced and exchange one of my 10s for 10 ones. So let's put those on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And so the way I record it is I'm now left with 7 10s. I've put 10 in there, and if I put it there, it looks like 14. Now I can say 14 take away 9. So I'm going to take away 9. 2, 4, 6, 8 and 9. And I can see that I am left with 5 ones. And then I'm going to do 7 10s, take away 4 10s. 2, 4, and that's going to leave me with 3 10s. But that's just the answer to the calculation. I need to go back to my question. How many flowers were left? 35 flowers were left. That is my unit of measurement that I must put in at the end.